Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is Rubidium. Quick little public service announcement today. I wanted to talk about the absolute inundation of C200 sales on the C200 Facebook group, a lot of which seems to be driven by people selling the C200 to buy a C70 or to buy the C200 Mark II, which was on Canon rumors a couple of days ago and supposedly is going to have the same sensor as the C300. I just wanted to put my 2 cents on this as someone who has owned this camera for a couple of years now, who gets a lot out of it and knows quite a lot about the C70. You can see my C70 video here. I do plan on getting one, but I want to say first and foremost that the goal of filmmaking is not to own the most amount of gear. The goal is to produce and create the best images or tell the best stories for the lowest price, with the least amount of gear, so that you're able to put that money into the stories that you're making or support your career as a filmmaker. There are people out there with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff on shelves that never gets used, that are grinding through the latest cameras and the latest lenses, and really not doing anything with it because it is just so tempting to go out and get the latest thing that all the hype's about. And you think that it's going to transform your filmmaking. The only thing that's going to transform for your filmmaking is finding more about the gear that you have right now and going out to use it. And please don't get me wrong, the C70 is a great camera, but C200s are selling on eBay now for $3,000, which is half the price of when they came out 2-3 years ago, and less than half the price of the C70, because the C70 is $5,500, but it's brand new, so you need to pay tax on it. Secondhand cameras aren't taxed as far as I'm aware. You don't pay tax. The person who bought the camera the first time pays the tax. And having shot extensively with the C200, C300 Mark III, and C500, I can tell you that the RAW coming off the C200 sensor is 90% as good as those cameras. They have a little more dynamic range. The C500, of course, has a much larger sensor. They have a little less grain. They're a little more sensitive to light. But at the end of the day, it is just a marginal improvement. It is not going to make in most shots, it's not going to make a big difference or even a perceivable difference unless you're really working out on the fringes of the camera's ability, which most people aren't anyway. If you're shooting sit-down interviews, if you're shooting corporate photography, shooting a lot of commercials, music videos, the C200 is going to give you just as much bang for your buck as the C70 in a much more versatile form factor. It is full-sized, it has cages, it has all these accessories available for it. You can rig it for multiple different purposes. The C70 is almost a specialist mini camera. It is like a DSLR on steroids. And if you've ever shot with a DSLR, there are a lot of drawbacks. There are connection issues. Like C70 doesn't have locking SDI, so you have HDMI issues. It has a mini XLR, so you have to convert your existing microphones to that. And it's not that much lighter. The C70 is 1.17 kilograms. The C200 RAW is about 1.4 kilograms. So it's only about 200 grams or half a pound difference between the weights of the two cameras. Some big exceptions are if you shoot events. Yes, the C70's XFAV C422 is going to be a big upgrade and much smaller than your either the RAW on your C200 or it's going to be much better quality than the MP4 420 on your C200. But if you're shooting events, do you really need 16 stops of dynamic range? If you're shooting, your church sermons or you're shooting some gala, that's just going to be hours and hours of video. Does it really need to be cinematic quality? I think the 420 on the C200 is perfect for 99% of those long form uses. And if you're not happy with the quality of the 420 on the C200, it is better than a DSLR, but it's nothing to write home about. Then in the C200 Masterclass, we talk all about how to get the RAW to become a ProRes 420 or 422 1080 file, which is 1/10 the size of the RAW very, very quickly and even grade it in the process. So you don't have to fill up your hard drive. You can use the RAW, you can grade from the card. This is, at the end of the day, a little bit of a push for my masterclass. You can see it in the link below or go to canonmasterclass.com. My main point here is that instead of selling the camera that you're not happy with to buy one that is very, very similar, learn about the one that you have, get better with it, or spend an extra money on a new set of lenses or an easy rig to get better footage in a different way. Upgrading to a C70 from a C200 isn't really going to change your footage that much. Most people wouldn't upgrade a sports car for one that goes 10 or 15% faster, especially if it cost you 50% more cash. That is my 2 cents on the whole run on the C200 camera and the rush to the C70. I will definitely have more content on the C70. Mine will be here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully a masterclass on it a little after that. Thank you very much for watching. Check the links in the description, check out Canon Masterclass, and I will see you next time.